Hello, everybody. Good morning from the Netherlands. I have and it's a good afternoon for those that are, I think, in Vietnam. Fantastic! It's great to see such a big show up of people week in, week out. It means to me that the DBAV is relevant and that we share information that is found useful by both members and non-members, members and friends, I should say. Fantastic, it's good to have all of you here. A special welcome to Mr. Ha from Signify.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ha from Signify. Very nice to meet all of you in the DBIV event. Many thanks, Mr. Guido, to create this event. Yep.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, and it's fantastic to have you because your company is Signify, and it's special. It's a special company because you guys are actually doing something positive, something that is making people hope for better times, and that is an innovation, a technical innovation during COVID that we not have that we don't know much about, but that could mean a lot to many in the future. So yeah. We will hear from you, your story. We will hear that very soon. Okay, welcome to everyone who's just joined throughout the meeting room. We have just started, no updates yet. What I have is, usually what I do is a small walkthrough of the newsletter where we discuss a few things and where we also, I try, if I have them, to share some updates. So I'm looking those up right now. Okay, so I think that the biggest news of last week still was that the vaccination time for experts, and that's what I want to zoom in on and also see if you guys have questions. So the quarantine time, sorry, I said vaccination time, but I mean quarantine time, was reduced from 14 days in a hotel and 14 nights home quarantine, self-monitoring, back to 7 plus 7, 7 days of quarantine, 7 days of home monitoring. The local implementation of this decree that was sent out by MOH, the Ministry of Health, is still very unclear, and that is frustrating, of course, for many of us. So we have to wait until the Vietnamese government comes with further clarification. And the clarification is to be sought along the lines of the details. For example, if you are a mom and dad and you have 2 children with you on your trip back to Vietnam, mom and dad are fully vaccinated, children not vaccinated, what do you have to do? Do you then have to take the 14 days of quarantine, or can your children just simply come along? And another question that is brought up very frequently to me is, how can I make sure that the Vietnamese authorities accept my vaccination as lawful? So do I need to get them legalized or not? And what does that mean? So in some countries, the waiting time for legalization can be weeks or months even. I believe in the Netherlands it's slightly better. But those are questions that we currently don't have answers for, and well, we hope to get them soon. And they should come from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I have good hopes that it comes in today or tomorrow. Actually, I had expected to have them by now, so it's probably going to be tomorrow. Okay, on average, we count 300 deaths per day now in Saigon, which is a lot. Medical care is cracking. It is, it's not collapsing, but that's the pressure on the medical system, the public health system in Vietnam is immense. Hospitals that are being built are not enough. There are still more patients coming in every day than leaving every day. So the pressure is getting higher and higher, and it's already so high. There's a shortage in medicines and breathing aperture, and the economy is hit very hard. So what I hear around me is that the expectation is 15 September. That is the formal deadline that the government has set. Unfortunately, that is not how a virus works. You cannot say 15 September it should be over. there's a strategy or sort of a plan how they plan to do it. It's going in 2 phases, and I will not go too deep into that. But I think it can be seen as quite certain. At least that is my estimation. For those of you that wonder what my estimation is, but the estimation is that the central government will keep pushing to get the COVID-19 under, and will keep sacrificing making economic sacrifices until the public health system is under normal circumstances again. So for example, a scenario like Indonesia, where people got unhappy, started protesting, and the government as a reaction provided relief by opening up the country further. I think something like that will not happen in Vietnam. So we have to be very cautious, and also in our expectation management to our home, to the Netherlands or to Vietnam, we have to remain very cautious in our predictions and manage the expectations. This could well take longer than September 15. What's the good thing? Well, the good news is obviously that the Vietnamese are speeding up. It's taking up speed. The vaccination campaign, record day of 1.5 million vaccinations, which is incredible, and it's an incredible amount. For example, the most vaccinations ever set in the UK is 500,000. So the Vietnamese are capable of doing 3 times more than a well-established Western country. So you see that the mass rollout, the mass logistics, that is the strength of the Vietnamese. And I think what we hear, for example, from experts or from producers, the main bottleneck for the vaccination campaign to take up speed are the medicines themselves. So we don't have enough. They have maybe made mistakes in the past, I don't know, or at least the bottom line story is that we don't have enough vaccine. Still entering more people into the waiting room. That's great. Welcome to all who have just recently joined. I'm just giving a small roundup of the news of last week before I pass the floor to Mr. Ha from Signify. Another problematic thing, what I found interesting, is that Binh Duong has actually still more cases per 100,000 citizens than Ho Chi Minh City. For me, what I see about that is that the disease has spread to the surrounding provinces, to Dong Nai, to Binh Duong, and that is very difficult for the companies that are there, because the people committees of Binh Duong and Dong Nai are not as advanced as the one in Ho Chi Minh. So if you are in Binh Duong or Dong Nai and you have to get your entry permit done, for example, it is much more difficult than in Ho Chi Minh, where it's already very difficult. So one of the things that we had was, one of the problems that we had was even getting documents from A to B. It's very difficult to get around these days. And I'm in the Netherlands right now, but I heard there was some relief, and that Grab drivers are actually picking up documents again and can drive those around, which is a huge relief for our entry permit service business, which is difficult enough already. It's difficult enough to get your permit, to get it on time for your planned flight. And if then in such a case, also a simple thing like getting your stuff from A to B, which was never a problem in Vietnam, if that becomes impossible, then the working almost becomes impossible. So these are, let's say, operational problems that we are dealing with when you're looking at the entry permit service. We do still accept new customers, but there are very few cases where I have a feeling of control, or the idea that we are advancing in the pace that we want, because everything keeps on getting delayed. The people committees are under enormous pressure. They're all understaffed. They also have to deal with the COVID-19 measurements taken by the government. So it's all going very slow at the moment. What I also saw in the terms of vaccination is that 90 American companies, large American corporates such as Coca-Cola, Nike, and so on, have sent an urgent letter, open letter to President Biden, asking for more vaccine to save their supply chain. The distress is enormous, and it's good to see that, for example, American companies actually signed a letter, 90 companies in total. And the lobby is to get more vaccines in on a very short notice. Okay, so and then besides the update that I give now, I also have a newsletter that we sent out. The newsletter has different updates, for example, from the Vietnam Weekly, updates from World Health Organization, from the Association for Dutch Citizens Abroad, the Stichting Nederlanders Buiten Nederland, who are all lobbying, communicating, and you can find all the formal numbers on which I think you can make your business decisions in that newsletter, which is basically a wrap up of all the communications that we find useful, trustworthy. Okay, so let that be that. If there are any questions for me or for Mr. Ha later on, do not be afraid. I would say just open your mic, interrupt us, or ask us a question in chat, and then we will get to it later. So without further ado, I see there are no more questions. Then I will move on to Mr. Ha. Ha, very welcome. Welcome in this session, in this briefing on COVID. Your company, Signify, it is, you're going to do a presentation, but it is a technical innovation, right?
We are the leading company in terms of the lighting industry in the world. So we provide the innovation technology for lighting to help the people. Our slogan motto is better live, better life, better world. Yeah.
What is the product that you are going to talk about today?
Today we will talk about the UVC technology, where we can help the customer, especially focus on office industry and in the living family, where right now we are fighting with the COVID-19. So our solution will be the extra protection layer can help the office and the industry to fight with this COVID-19 way, and also uh, into prove the health and well-being of the office in the near future when we back into the new normal. So for your information, our EVC technology win the platinum award for the back into the world this year for the solution, the innovation solution. Yeah.
And is it, that's fantastic and great to hear that you won that Platinum Award, but is it a recent innovation or is it an old innovation that you are now also using for COVID-19?
Yes, so we talked about this in the presentation, but I can give some of the sneak on the information that this innovation is not the new one. So we have the UVC technology of for more than 40 years already. So it had been used a lot before in the hospital and in the water disinfection. So right in 2020 when the COVID-19 came to work. So our company quickly bring that innovation into the application where we can have the world in to enable to fighting with the customer. So it's not new technology. It's trusted and proven technology we have been using before. Yeah, for more than 40 years.
Well, that's great. And you are ready to open your presentation, I suppose, right?
Okay, so let me see my screen. Yep. So, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm Ha, commercial leader from Signify. So today, I'm very happy to share with everyone in this event about our EVC disinfection technology, which focus on the office and industry segment, and also the living family. So we can have the in the protection and fighting with the COVID-19. So for many of us, for the office, now we are working from home, but we are very looking forward to go back into the office, and every organization, every company corporate right now, they are looking for the addition, the enhanced protection for their working space. So when we do the market research with every company, the first priority is to enable the safety and productivity for employee when they go to the office back again. It also the same with the industry factory, that the industry facility now looking to enhance the protection and doing everything possibly to protect the safety uh, for of their workforce, especially right now, in the south of Vietnam. Uh, in every factory, they are doing the three spots: working, eating, and sleeping at the factory. And the factory facility, they do everything possibility to enhance the protection, to create a safety environment for their worker enable to fighting with the COVID-19. So how the virus transmission into occur the truth? So they have three kind of the transmission from the virus and bacteria. The first is a direct airborne transmission between the people to people. So with the distance below to 2 meters, the opposite people can get infected from the people. So that it comes from the 5K from the government to keep distance between the two people. The second is indirect airborne transmission through the air. So when people they do talking or coughing, a lot of the small nuclear the droplets is go to the air and go when and it's when we go to the another people uh, uh, and go out to the lung to create to get the infection. And also when we do the coughing or we do talking, a lot of droplets will be formed into the subject, the surface like the desktop table or the telephone, and it will become into the contamination, surface contamination. So this is the way the virus transmission through the surface and also the air transmission. And uh, for the research, recently we did in the office, we see that the some of cold or flu virus can be survived into the surface for more than 72 hours. So it means that the office will be the incubator for the bacteria or the contamination place. So within 2 or 4 hours, 40 to 60% of the sample surface in the building will contaminate with the virus. So and the first one will be the coffee break room or cafeteria, and the and another research show that that is really the bacteria cafeteria for their breakfast, bar, for lunch or for table. And the surprise study that the average that's harbor 400 times the germ than the average of the toilet seat. So you see that our office is not really clean. Not just only the when the COVID-19 is come to the pandemic, and we start to how say think about improve the health and well-being or protecting our people in the office, but it will be the trending, it will be the new standards for the future of it when they focus on improve the health and well-being and increase the safety for the worker. Uh, Also the same when we that the research on 2016. So 20 and 25 weekly contact from the workplace is made in the office, and average the 16% of the flu transmission is take place in the office, and this is very high number, especially in Vietnam. We normally we can get cause of flu during the summer or the winter coming. So this is very high transmission during in the office, and it's increase the demanding on the uh, another alternative, another way to protect the office in the near future. And it also happened in the industry, when we work in the factory, when we work in the common like machine, the manufacturing table. We also touching with a lot of bacteria, and also in the environment where a lot of the bacteria germ is it happened. Not only the COVID-19, and the staff also request to enhance the protection to save them, not only right now in the pandemic, but also in the future for their health. So, so that's the reason why we see that the air disinfection and the surface disinfection is very important to protect the health of the employee and visitor. And before, we only know that's using the chemical to do the air disinfection or surface disinfection. But what else we can do in able to increase the efficiency and also the the protection for the office or for the industry. So that is the topic we would like to discuss today, and introduce it to everyone. Um, so how can we do? We can create the safety office or safety working environment to every organization and every facility to ensure the effectiveness of the disinfection, while the more microorganisms become resistant to the chemical treatment. We see that right now when we use the chemical treatment, it cannot uh, disinfect some of microorganisms. So how we can solve that problem or reduce the direct or indirect cost related to the harmful of the microorganism, because some of the chemical when we use in the office or in the factory, it will affect the laptop, the miniature we are using in the office. So how can we reduce that problem? So it's come with the UVC disinfection. So it can help to reduce the risk of exposure to the office worker and the visitor. The second, it can make the office worker and visitor or in the facility facility feel better protected, and it's enable business continuity to reduce the disinfection cycle time by using some alternative method like the chemical, and it's prevent excessive spending on chemical sanitizer like what we see right now in Vietnam. Even last few weeks, Ministry of Health also issued a letter to stop using the chemical sanitizer in the public area, because they see it not the effective way to do the disinfection. So we talk quite a lot about the UVC disinfection. So what is the UVC disinfection? How it can help the people to protect and disinfect the surface and airborne. So like sharing and discuss with Mr. Guido in the beginning of the session. So the UVC technology is not really new. It's not the innovation technology at this moment. It's already be proven technology for more than 40 years. So they have been used a lot in the hospital and in the uh, water cleaning segment. It's effective with all the bacteria and virus test up to date, and it's so that it's very fast to disinfect the surface and the airborne, and it can be used in the a lot of application, not only in the hospital or in the water treatment industry like before. So talking about the UV radiation, what is the UV light? So the UV light is the invisible with the human eye. So it's come with the wavelength from 100 nanometers to 400 nanometers. So it's divided into three types. Type of the catalog. First is UVGA from the 315 to 400 nanometers. Mostly is used for the sun standing and for the insect trap. What we see in some application for the insect trap before for UVB is mostly used for the medical use for the skin treatment or psoriasis acids. And the UVC is the wavelength come from the 200 to 280 nanometers. This one is used for the disinfection purpose and the medication application. So this is the UVC wavelength. And how does the UVC work to deactivate the virus and bacteria? We all know that bacteria or in the virus they can multiply themselves by copying the DNA, so they can multiply themselves in the when they attack the person body. So the UVC radiation can break the DNA and RNA. So for of the bacteria and virus, so it means like it's deactive the virus, and the virus cannot be active to harmful the people. So uh, the pitch of the UVC is 260 nanometers, and we proud to say that our UVC reached the wavelength is 254 253.7 nanometers. It's the highest wavelength can be reached at this moment for the UVC. And answering from the our CEO, we also said that we very happy to sharing this technology with everyone enable to fighting with the COVID-19 because we proud to say that our UVC lamp right now is the highest efficiency UVC in the world at this moment. And in the 2020, when the first wave of COVID-19 arrived in the world, Signify, we are collaborating with the Boston University to do a research to see the effectiveness from the outline source with the COVID-19 virus. And we have that the setting to show that our UVC light can inactivate 99% of the SARS-CoV-2, the virus cause of COVID-19 on the surface with the exposure time only 6 seconds. So this is very important milestone for us to bring that technology into the world, into the application where we have the people to fighting and protection the people and our staff for the from the pandemic. And not only the COVID-19, the UVC can also the affect with a lot of the pathogen, bacteria and virus. It can show in the slide, and furthermore, you can find that in our website, UVC website in the below. So this is our UVC disinfection technology, and we shortly understand how the UVC technology can help the people, can help the organization to protect and fighting with the COVID-19. And right now, I would like to focus more on the application or recommendation to using our UVC technology, focus on office, industry, and also the living home to protect our people, especially with at this moment when the fourth wave of COVID-19 is attacking Vietnam very strongly. So in the office and industry application, we will focus on several areas: the working area, the circulation area, the supporting supply, and furniture and device, and other area like the parcel service, where we see a loss of the potential and trace with the contamination of the virus SARS-CoV-2. So first we will go with the air disinfection solution. So as you see that the virus, bacteria, and the fungi can also be airborne spreading through when people breathing, talking, or coughing in the indoor office environments. And it will generate the aerosol particle or droplet, and with extra of the heating or cooling or air circulation in your space, it will further distribute airborne virus in around of the office or in around the factory, even in the home. So first we can see like some of the supporting space like the meeting room or the coffee corner or the coffee room, when it's the high contact area when the people meeting each other, talking with each other. So in this area, we will need to apply the air disinfection in this area, enable to protect and make sure that the the air will be without the air will be disinfection and without the SARS-CoV-2. The circulation area is the reception desk or corridor or trash carry the very high volume of the guest or visitor um, uh, go in or go out, and it will be increasing the risk of the carrier passing the COVID-19 through that corridor. And also in the working area, like we discussed in the previous space, where the desk, the office uh, also gets contaminated with the COVID-19. So how is our solution can help protect in the area? So we have the UVC upper luminaire. It's designed with the shape with the UVC lamp inside and with very special louver can the air when it go through that um, luminaire. This air when we get disinfected and the virus like COVID-19 will be deactivated, and we also have the test report to show that after a period of time the air inside the room will be gets infected the virus SARS-CoV-2, and the most important that people can work continuously in this area, so we can work 24/7 hour without turn on and turn off the light and without the worry that the UVC can harm the people in this environment. And second, that we have the portable UVC air disinfection. So this is very portable. So you can put in anywhere of the office or in the factory where we see that this have the high traffic of people or high traffic of communication between the two people can increase the risk of the COVID-19 transmission. So it integrated the fan inside, and it will blow the air, the disinfected air without the COVID-19. So it's designed for the area around like 20 or 40 square meter. So if you have the larger work plan, you can use several of the disposable air UVC air disinfection, and this is very ideal to using in the guest room, in the hotel, or in the meeting room, or in the open workplace, even at home where we can use that kind of the air disinfection. And this is our air disinfection. So come with the surface disinfection. And you know that when we talking or when we causing the droplet also distribute into the air, and it will be fall into the object nearby, like in the table, in the desk, and in the laptop. And when the people carrying that virus, these people also could be affected by touching contaminated the surface. So that the reason why the Ministry of Health uh, recommend us to do a lot for the washing the hand, and also uh, do the disinfection the surface by using the chemical or alternative methods. And this UVC application surface disinfection show a lot of the advanced solution compared with using the chemical, when the using the chemical can get harm for the object and for the equipment in the office. The UVC can help to protect us even more better and efficient. So it's also we can use in the circulation area, like in the reception desk, in the furniture device, like for the vending machine or chair or table, working table in the office, or in the machinery, or in the cafeteria in the factory, in the working space, like we discussed in before, and also in the some of the supporting space, like the meeting room or the corner. So what the product we have for the surface disinfection? The first we have that is the UVC dead lamp. This is very smart, uh, and it's the choice to bring the for every living family right now in Vietnam. So it comes with the injection, Vietnamese injection, and with time setting from 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 40 minutes, and ideally for the living area, like the bedroom or the living room, or even inside the office, like some of the area, like in the small meeting room or small queue, phone queue, or small of the cafeteria, or even for some small of meeting room, we can use that kind of the this UVC lamp. And we are very happy to show that this is the top hundreds of the consumer product in 2020 to protect the family and children. And we're happy to bring it into the commercial. So right now you can find the information or the buy product from the some commercial platform like Tiki or Lazada. So it's and we see from the this slide that a lot of the compliment from the customer when they are using the UVC data. And this come from the consumer side. So come from the professional side. We have the fixed intelligent luminaire, the UVC button, to push in the office, or in the uh, in the factory facility, in several areas where we see the threats, like example like last year when COVID-19 attacked Singapore. So the foreign worker dormitory is the first the first to get a positive case, and the government, they quickly to bring that kind of UVC button solution to get this infection in the on the dormitory, focus on the toilet area, where we see that the the contaminated surface get affected from virus, and they using the UVC button
Is I
for
just
yep. Yep.
um, can you try and wrap up the presentation, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
So this one is the UVC trolley. So where we have the very powerful and portable UVC trolley for the surface infection. It comes with the normal standards 1 amp or 2 amp designed for the factory and office application. And the last one that we have the solution for object disinfection chamber where we use to disinfect the phone or the laptop or some common like projector remote. And we have another fully solution for the control solution for the large application like for the dormitory or the big factory. We're using the sensor and also the EVC lamp and also the control to get the protection for the factory or for the office. And this one we would like to show several cases from the around the world and in Vietnam using the UVC technology. In Vietnam, we use the UVC upper air for the several hospital like Oriental Hospital in the north and also Chorley Hospital in the south, in able to protect the patient from the COVID-19. Or even in the UVC Chorley in the factory, in the drugstore, or in the office, like in the bank, in some several brand of the bank like ACB or Vietcombank or Agribank. In the world, we have like the some of the success case study on the on retail, like in Germany. You can see in here the instant the UC upper air. Also in the gym from the Netherlands, where it's very indoor and the virus can transmit through the air regulation. And also in the France, in the Sonepa company, where they install the UC upper air for this application. And in Hong Kong, where we see that upper air also installed in the restaurant. So with this slide, uh, I will close the session for the introduction of the UVC, and I'm very happy to answer any question from the audience.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Mr. Ha, and it was indeed a very interesting presentation on what lighting can do to free your company, your house, or your environment from COVID-19. So thank you for your remarks and also for sharing a large part of the portfolio of Signify. There was one question from the crowd from Paul Weijers, which I found interesting. He asked, let me see, if it's known for so many years, to which extent is this now used to fight COVID-19? And can you give a percentage of the industry in Vietnam or, for example, Europe or USA that are factually using this UV solution to kill the COVID-19 virus? He wants to know more about the market uptake today.
So I would like to say that like in the previous presentation, I would say that in our working space, they have a lot of the bacteria or the virus or germ inside the space, and even like for flu transmission. So before we not taking care about that health of safety. So with the COVID-19 pandemic come into the world, so people they raising the awareness about the health and well-being of the office, and this is the changing of the new normal, not only in Vietnam but also in global. So when people come back to work, they would like to protect themselves from the factory and from the office, and this is so that this is a very efficient tool beside alternative beside using the chemical to protect the work and it. So I don't have the exact the number that how many company in the world is using this technology, but it's increasing. So that's the reason why this year we won platinum award for the buyback into the office, because of changing from the factory and from the office. They would like to protect their people. Even like some company like the SAP or Microsoft, when they're asking about the people when they return back to office, what is the most concern? The most concern from the employee that they want to make sure that the environment is safer and can protect them health. So that is very important, and it's a trending, not only in Vietnam but in the world. Yeah.
Thanks. And the estimate, Paul Wise asked for an estimate. Is it 1% of the market that has these lamps, or 10 or 0.01%?
I don't have the exactly number at this moment, but I can say that it's a loss. Yep.
Okay, but I will just ask once more. What do you mean with a lot? Is that 0.01% or is that 20%? In which region?
I would say maybe more than 10%. More than 10%. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. I hope that answers Paul's question for now. It is indeed interesting to see that technical innovations can help to further protect us from COVID. And after the lockdown, this will very likely be one of the potential procurements from larger offices or households. Yep. So thanks for sharing that with us, Ha. I really appreciate your input on this matter.
Thank you very much, and we are very happy to share with you the technology. So if you interest or you have any request on this one, so please do let us know. Yep.
Yeah. Great. Remove spotlight. So with that, if there are no further questions, then I would like to also end this webinar. Thank you all for tuning in, for staying with us. We started at 10 o'clock and we have stopped at about 10:45. Thank you all very much. This next week there will be a new webinar that will actually be with John Pulicino. He is the country manager of Pfizer Vietnam. I'm really looking forward to having him in this show, so we can ask him all your vaccination related questions. Also all your Pfizer, your questions regarding the outlook, how many vaccines is Pfizer going to deliver to Vietnam, and when is that going to happen? So all these questions can be answered next week when John joins us. We might also have a second speaker. I'm just working on that. But this is it for today, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming to the webinar. See you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yep.